What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. So in this video, I want to talk about an illustration that I very recently saw. And I saw this illustration on YouTube, and even before I clicked on the video that contained the illustration, I was like, what the fuck is this? I already knew where it was going. But before I get into my commentary about this photo, I'm going to share some commentary about this photo from the artist himself. And to be fair, I got this quote from the comment section of the video that I watched. So I can't 100% say for sure that it came from the artist himself, but they posted it as saying that this is a quote from the artist himself. So just want to give that disclaimer. But he said, "As the artist, I decided to play a spin on what you would expect in a piece like this. I developed this character a few years ago, and she represents the future and the power that we have in us as a Black community. She's a reflection of an inner power that many won't unlock, but deep down we passionately feel this way. How many people say, 'That's the kid in me'? Well, to me, this is like the kid in you. She's watching through your eyes, but can't express herself unless you give her the keys to do so. She's just standing and watching, as to say, you have the power to do this." And that was the end of his quote, alleged quote. So that's what the artist had to say about this, right? And I just find that to be a little odd that we're, this, little Black girl is being used to represent power. And power is a synonym of strength, right? Power. I just find that to be, I find this whole situation to be a bit odd here, because this is from a Black man, all right? A Black man painted this portrait. And for me personally, I think that artists like to have people talk about their work. Of course, and artists like to, push the boundaries, do things that are controversial, because it starts conversations, it starts debates, dialogue, things like that. And as well, artists often use their art to express their, political beliefs and political stances as well. But me personally, I think that the photo is extremely problematic. And that's me being nice, all right? It's extremely problematic. And the thing is a lot of reasons why. It's a few reasons. First, it does kind of seem like we are sending our Black girls at this point now. It was the Black women, but now it's the girls. We're sending, our Black girls to fight our battles as a community, and even worse, as, Black men. That's not really a good message to send. That's not a good message. As well, notice that the little girl, her hair is very much natural, right? And, normally it would be a great thing to show, a phenotypically Black girl with, natural Black hair. But I think in this particular instance, I do think it's a bit strange, because I think they're equating the natural Black hair as being sort of like fight the power. And of course, we kind of know the history of that. And I'm not saying that Black hair isn't political, but I do find it a bit odd that the artist didn't use, the biracial girl curls that seems to be very popular when it comes to, natural hair, right? Notice that too. And also, even more so, notice that the little girl in this photo, she is phenotypically Black, right? There is no like ambiguity to her. She's not racially ambiguous. We're not wondering, what race is she? Is she part black? Is she part Indian? Perhaps part Eskimo? We're not wondering about that. And we don't even see her face or anything, but right from the back, we already know, who we're dealing with as far as like the race is concerned. And usually the black community is very much like, all shades matter, especially when it comes to the women. They love to push that, all shades matter. And, black women come in so many different varieties, so many different colors, the black rainbow, baby, right? The beautiful black rainbow, right? But yes, it's funny that that mentality falls to the side at this point, right? When it comes to this, right? When they want fight the power black women, are really girls, because she's a girl, she's not even a woman, and that's even a bigger issue that needs to be addressed, which is, making the girls adults their time before it's time for them to be adults. But really, it's all like, but really though, why is this artist using a black girl, period, of any shade? Why didn't he use a black boy, or really a black man? But let's say a black boy if you want to be pushing the envelope and controversial and starting conversations and things like that. Why not use a black boy? That would make just as much sense, if not more. But, if he didn't want to use a black boy, perhaps he could have used a biracial girl, heck, a white girl, an Asian girl, a Latina. Because, some of these dudes be saying that, oh, they're so desired. And, the white women, Asians, Latinas, and other groups of women love them so much, right? But I think they know what's good. They know what's good. They know who to go to with this bullshit, right? Because they couldn't do this with the non-black women. Now with the light-skinned mixed women, maybe they can maybe get away with this, with the light-skinned mixed women doing this. But with the non-black women, nah, they ain't gonna go for that. The BBC ain't that good to them. All right, so they ain't gonna really go for that like that. All right. So Tyrone gonna be coming through talking about the power of the BBC compels you, Becky. And Becky like, nah, I'm good. Nah, I tried it. It was okay. It was all right, but there was nothing to write home about. There's nothing to throw away my white privilege and system of white supremacy and overthrow that about. Just as long as my dad doesn't find out, I'm cool. And similar sentiments from the other non-black women. And another thing that needs to be addressed is, what does this young lady, this really young girl, what does this young girl really get for her good deed? What does she really get? What's her compensation? What's her recompense? What's her reward for doing this? What does she really get from it? A pat on the head and a cookie? Like, if she really were to do something like this, right? Of course, this is all hypothetical, and whatnot. But I'm just saying, the community, what would the black community give her in exchange for her hard work? Probably nothing. Nothing in particular. Again, probably like a pat on the head. Probably not even a cookie, just a pat on the head, if that. But that's about as far as it's going to go. I don't imagine her being upheld as some very important person in the black community. And some black men will probably complain that they feel like she's emasculating them, even though a black man put her up to it, right? But this isn't really new when it comes to black women, especially, darker skinned black women being seen as sort of like on this like social justice warrior, black power, queen, mule, right? This is not really anything new, unfortunately. Because the thing is, like, back in slavery, the dark-skinned black women and the dark-skinned black men were, out in the field doing field work, for lack of a better word. So right then and there, it's already kind of like, you're putting both of them kind of like on the same playing field to an extent. And that mentality, to an extent, still lingers on today, both in black men and black women, where the black men would, to an extent, expect black women, especially darker skinned black women, to like quote unquote get their hands dirty or be a bit more open to it, right? Oh, you got to build a brother up, stuff like that, right? And that in itself is a discussion. And as well, during the civil rights movement, they used black kids, including black girls, in the front, and they put them toward the front, right? And the civil rights movement was a nonviolent protest, so they didn't really have any defense either. That's something to think about. And as well, just recently, like Black Lives Matter. Again, this would be more so black women, but still, I think it still relates though. But, black women very much pushing this social agenda, like this, black power-esque agenda type thing. Fight the power, black woman type stuff. But, another thing that I do find a bit interesting in this is that I believe that I actually have seen a photo of, photos, at least one or at least a couple, of both the artist and his wife. The artist is like a dark-skinned black man. His wife is kind of like a safe brownish color type thing. Like, we know that she's black, but she's not quote unquote too black, right? And I find that to be a bit interesting that he didn't put his wife in any of these type of photos or illustrations on some fight the power shit. As well, the little girl in the photo doesn't have the same phenotype as his wife. Interesting. But another thing that needs to be addressed is, okay, since the artist is a dark-skinned man and his wife is like a safe brown color, what if they have a dark-skinned daughter? How will that play out? Will they expect their dark-skinned daughter to do this stuff in the photo? Like, in the illustration, I mean, don't people say that like art imitates life or life imitates art or something like that? So, yeah, that's a question that's definitely worth exploring. But I'm going to bring this video to a close. I don't want to go on for too long, but I just wanted to come through and give my thoughts and opinions about this situation here and just hear from you guys as well and think about, hear what you guys think and just have some discussion and dialogue about this. Another thing that I just thought of, let's say if he did have a, phenotypically black boy in the photo instead of a phenotypically black girl in the photo. I kind of think that perhaps the photo would come off as being a bit more, or, the illustration would come off as being a bit more, I guess, sinister, perhaps, maybe, a bit more serious. Like, oh, this black boy, he's spray painting stuff, so he is a thug. He's spray painting graffiti, right? And I think for the artist, he may be thinking maybe he doesn't want to promote an image like that for black boys, although he's, perfectly fine promoting an image like that for black girls though, right? And again, this is just my personal speculation and conjecture. Yeah, thank you very much for watching, and please let me know what you think in the comments section. Until the next video, adios and goodbye for now.